What's up, guys? Here are my predictions for a UFC Fight Night in London happening this weekend. And looking at the card, I have to be honest, it doesn't look like a strong card. There's some fun fights like the main event. The co-main event could be pretty fun. And Tom Duquesnoy's fight, he's a prospect a lot of people are looking for. So we'll start with Stevie Ray versus Cajun Johnson, because this is actually a pretty good stylistic matchup. Both pretty well-rounded, although I would say Stevie Ray is more fundamentally sound in every area. Cajun Johnson's, I think, is a little bit better of a striker. He's a little bit more wild and unorthodox, but he's pretty good everywhere as well, especially when it comes to takedown defense. He moves a lot, long-range strikes, and that could be a problem for a guy like Stevie Ray, and Stevie Ray got beat pretty bad by Paul Felder in his last fight after coming off a win streak. And Cajun Johnson's found his stride. He had a really impressive TKO over Adriano Martins. Now, it wasn't the most exciting fight up until then, but very good win for him, and he's on a 3-win streak right now, so he has the momentum coming into the fight. But I would say Stevie Ray is going to have the better ground game overall. Cajun Johnson's going to have the better striking overall, especially with how unorthodox he is. He might give Stevie Ray some problems with some angles and the range he can attack on those angles. Ray is going to want to get this to the ground or try to find a way to infight, but still, Cajun Johnson, I think, has a little bit more power. But to be honest, both fighters, they're not too impressive anywhere. They're both just solid fighters all around. So my prediction for the fight, I'm going to go with Stevie Ray by a decision, but I think it's going to be a pretty close fight up until then. I will be pretty surprised, though, if Johnson's able to thwart off all the takedowns. Then we go to Tom Duquesnoy versus Terrion Ware. This is a fight a lot of people are looking forward to, especially because of Tom Duquesnoy. These guys are both strikers primarily. Duquesnoy is more of a Muay Thai style of a fighter. Very fast. He's pretty big for the division as well. Extremely dynamic on the feet. He'll throw everything. His movement is pretty solid as well. Now, it's not fluid, but it's a lot of quick steps around. I'm looking for his angles for his boxing combinations. His high kicks are devastating. I think he'll have a big advantage in the clinch as well. Terrion Ware is more of a boxer than anything. He doesn't have too much going on in his all-around game. He has a reach advantage as well, so I do see him potentially trying to push Duquesnoy back and hold that distance, but he does like to close the distance a little bit too much sometimes, and that can play right into Duquesnoy's favor. I don't think either of them will go for any takedowns, but Terrion Ware has gone for them before, but he mainly just holds people against the cage to the point where it gets broken up, and now he has the advantage with his boxing range, and he can go that route. But my prediction for the fight, I'm going to go with Tom Duquesnoy. I'm going to go by a 3rd round TKO. I see Tom Duquesnoy landing a lot of leg kicks, looking for his combinations on the feet. I think he's going to try to counter Terrion Ware off of those leg kicks. He'll throw them. Terrion Ware will try to come in, and I see Duquesnoy countering him with some left hooks, some straight right hands. I think he's going to have a big speed advantage as well, and the high kicks are going to be present there at times as Duquesnoy starts to dictate the pace of the fight. And then we go to the co-main event, Jimmy Manawa versus Jan Blachowicz. This is an interesting fight and kind of important for the light heavyweight division because of how shallow it is. These guys are both strikers primarily, but Blachowicz has been developing this wrestling game. You got Jimmy Manawa, who is a devastating Muay Thai striker with excellent boxing, one of the most powerful left hooks I've seen in MMA. He just has huge power. He's so fast as well, has a long reach. He doesn't move a whole lot, but he's really good at cutting off the cage when he is the pressuring fighter. When he's not pressuring, a lot of his offense is thrown out the window. But in this fight, I see Jimmy Manawa pushing back Jan Blachowicz, and I see Blachowicz trying to get some takedowns off of that, going under the punches, using his superior wrestling and potentially some kicks as well to keep distance. Jimmy Manawa is going to have the advantage when it goes to boxing range. I think it's going to be a very clear advantage. Blachowicz is going to try to get away from that range. He's going to either want to stay all the way in or all the way out. And when I mean all the way in, I mean like clinching up or takedowns. Jimmy Manawa has shown some susceptibility in the clinch like you saw with Oezdemir, and he does leave his guard down in the close range at times like you saw with Anthony Johnson. And Blachowicz can take those advantages for takedowns or even some punches in the feet, but Jan is not the most powerful puncher, but he has some devastating kicks. The leg kicks might be a big problem for Jimmy Manawa, potentially going high as well. I could see a high kick for Blachowicz landing, but he's going to have to get away from the cage because when Manawa is cutting you off, he is so good at intercepting you, like you saw with Corey Anderson, like you saw with OSP. When they couldn't get away from him, he's so good at picking his shots, so accurate with that left hook, man. Intercepts you, catches you before you even know it's coming. So Jan is going to want to stay in the center of the octagon, use a lot of footwork around, look for the takedowns. But my prediction for the fight, I'm going to go with Jimmy Manawa. I'm going to go by a 1st or 2nd round knockout. I think he's going to thwart some of the takedowns because Jimmy Manawa, although he's not a grappler, he has pretty decent takedown defense, especially when he's not fighting guys like Daniel Cormier or guys on that level of wrestling, or even Anthony Johnson. I think he's going to be able to do just that. Cut off Jan Blachowicz, Miocic. Find his openings for the left hook and also the right straight as Jan goes for those leg kicks. And then we go to the main event. Fabricio Werdum versus Alexander Volkov. This is a very important fight for the heavyweight division. Both top-ranked guys. Volkov's going on a run right here. And Werdum being one of the best heavyweights in the world. It's going to be really interesting. You got Werdum, one of the best BJJ fighters in the UFC and MMA period. If it goes on the ground, chances are he's going to dominate the opponent. Unless you're Alistair over him, you could just shut it down. But Werdum on the feet, he has devastating kicks. Leg kicks are powerful, good teeps. He'll throw some spinning heel kicks in there if you're not active enough. He's not the most powerful puncher, but he is pretty solid with his boxing overall if he doesn't overcommit like he did against Stipe Miocic. He's really good at just pumping out the jab, and his right cross is very fast. Now, again, not the most power, but he uses it to disrupt the opponent, like you saw with Cain Velasquez. His uppercuts are there as well. He has very high output. His takedowns aren't the best. It's going to be really hard to get down Volkov, especially because Volkov's takedown defense is absolutely insane. And how tall he is too. He's very strong. Strong legs and hips. He's able to just keep balance at all times. But Werdum has shown to have a really, really good chin. He's been cracked many times by big punchers, usually in there with them. And Werdum on the ground is one of the most dangerous guys you can fight. His submission threat in his guard is crazy. Triangles and arm bars and guillotines. He can sweep you. If he's on top, get prepared for some ground and pound. He'll smash through your defenses and look for that submission at all times. Even with his ground and pound, he's looking for submissions. And we have seen that Werdum does have a really good cardio. Going 5 rounds with Marcin Tybura is not easy, especially at the pace that they put on. He has the cardio to go 5 rounds. Volkov has shown to have really good cardio as well. And when we go to Volkov, he's more of a karate fighter. Uses some Muay Thai skills as well. Very long, one of the tallest guys in the UFC. He's going to have a big reach advantage over Werdum, and he's a much better striker overall than Werdum. Excellent kicks. Excellent distance management. He's pretty light on his feet for a heavyweight, especially with his size. His takedown defense is amazing as well. Good chin, and he's really good at picking his shots in the pocket. Really good at landing those jabs and then coming up with uppercuts right as the opponent tries to cover up, as well as his knees. His knees are devastating. His high kicks are devastating. A big threat in this fight is going to be some of those high kicks. I don't think he's going to throw too many leg kicks and body kicks because they could get caught, and then on the ground is the only place Volkov does not want to be. This is actually a pretty close fight when I think about it. So my prediction for the fight, this is actually really close to call. You know what? I'm going to go with Alexander Volkov. I think his takedown defense is going to be enough to keep it on the feet. And I think he's just going to pick his shots, be very smart in there. Know when to attack, know what to use in his attacks. And I think overall his striking is going to be too much for Werdum. The reach advantage is not going to help as well. I potentially see some knees landing as Werdum tries to close the distance, and the movement and the range and the distance management that Volkov has is going to disrupt a lot of what Werdum is going to try to do. And the leg kicks that Werdum throws, I don't think are going to be too effective in this fight. So I'm going to go with Volkov. I'm going to go by a 3rd round TKO. So those are my predictions, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you enjoyed my content, make sure to subscribe. This main event is pretty hard to call. I'm really curious to see who you guys think is going to win in there. And also comment below, what fight do you guys want me to see me break down for my fan voted breakdown. In the lead right now is going to be Tony Ferguson and Barboza. If you guys want me to do that, then you don't have to say anything. But if you don't want me to break that down yet, you guys want me to break down something else, just comment that below. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.